There's an old oil well there. Just a little one, only stands about 4 feet tall. Right outside Petrolia. And this was the first place in the world where oil was discovered and manufactured here, or refined. Hey, I apologize. I don't think I've done a video in over a week, maybe 10 days, I don't know. I'm going to clean up my bench first and get a few things done. I've got the sandblaster that I'm going to sandblast my frame at a buddy's house. And it's his sandblaster, but his buddy was borrowing it to sandblast his like 1963 or 64 Volkswagen window van. So I just got that last night. So this weekend we're going to sandblast that, get that all primered, ready for paint, and then try to get all the stuff painted, get the motor in. I don't know, next week, 2 weeks, hopefully soon. First I'm going to clean this up. Crazy dog. Chasing you for 10 minutes and look how dirty you are. You're having a bath. First time I let him out, probably 2 weeks, off his chain. Sure enough, took right off, gone. Running through the mud. Can't really see, but it's getting wet and dark. Okay, just putting on the intake manifolds. I finally got the intake gaskets. They didn't come with that gasket kit that I got. And this gasket kit, it only comes with one exhaust copper ring in there. And I looked online again today at that guy selling the same kit, and he only sells it with one exhaust gasket. I don't get that. And none of these intake manifold gaskets. I looked online, wasn't sure if this insulator went here or here, because on half of the pictures, half of the bikes online have the insulator out here, and that's not right. The insulator goes here, and there's a gasket on either side of it. And I'm just gonna, I put a little bit of goop that way, that way. There we go. Yeah, I'm a little shaky here. I just put a little bit of this goop, 518 Loctite gasket maker, just around the circle. Spread it around a little bit. Kind of holds the gasket in place, and it's going to seal it. That's one gasket. Oh, get off me, dog. He always jumps on the back of my legs, tries to knock me down. I think it only weighs 8 pounds. Just put a little bit around there. Put the other gasket on. Another little bit of gasket goop. I don't know how anybody else does it, but wherever there's a gasket surface, I'm gonna put a little bit of gasket maker on there. You don't want an air leak on your carburetors anywhere. Sucks air, it runs lean, won't run right, won't idle right. Burn a valve. Get down, dog, get down. Jumping all over me. And I actually put a little dab on the end of the screw so they don't back out either. So just put that like that. That in there. That in there. Okay, there's those two on. A little bit of gasket goop over the outside there. Wipe that up a little bit. Now I got the other cover in off eBay. This was $9.99, and there was 2 of them on there. One had little pit marks all on there. I wanted to make sure I didn't get that one, because you got to sand it down so far to get the pit marks out. This one's good. I'm going to sand this one down, buff it all up, get these 2 on, and that'll get those 2 rockers done. And then that's about all I can do to this engine for now. I've got some oil lines. I'm just waiting for the oil lines. There's all kinds of options there. You can order the stock ones, the hard plastic ones. Originally they were metal, and the vibration they cracked. Some people put rubber lines on with clamps, transparent lines, all different types of lines. I'm going with this steel, stainless steel braided cloth oil line, fuel line, and they're gauged by an AN number, AN4, AN6, AN8, AN10, and this is an AN4. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a 3 or 4 to fit these fittings, but I ordered a 4 and I got the right size. It's a nice snug fit when I push that on there. There's a little bit of tape. They put tape over the end of it, and so I just ordered the caps for these. I need 4, 2 here, 1 there's 3, and then the one down at the bottom down here is 4. So I'll be making that in a couple of weeks when those caps come in, and I'm using the same stuff for the oil lines as well too. And I ordered an AN6. I'm hoping that's going to fit. It's close to 1/2 inch. That's another day, another project. What are you doing? You like popping those bubbles too, eh, in the bubble wrap. Oh my God, you're crazy. Crazy dog. Well, the other reason why this bake light goes on closest to the head on the inside, is because your carburetor has an O-ring. O-ring fits on the inside up against the steel, not up against the bake light. But I started looking through the internet because I wasn't quite sure, because I saw so many of them where the guy put the insulator here. And you know what? There is an advantage to putting that insulator here if you get a good seal here. And if the more you can heat up this intake and evaporate that gas before it gets into the cylinder, the better fuel mileage you're going to get. So right here we're insulating the heat from the intake from the carburetor so that you don't get vapor lock or the carburetor getting too hot. But if you put the insulator here, you'll heat this up more, and I think you'll get better fuel mileage. That's the principle on cars anyways, a lot of engines. Heat the intake manifold up, especially 4-cylinder cars. Look on your 4-cylinder car, especially in Europe there, they run the intake manifold through the exhaust to heat it up, and then your carburetor sits in front of it. But maybe that's why people do put the insulator up here. I don't think you can go too wrong.